This is Albert and the Eadsman. On young Albert Ramsbottom's birthday, his parents asked what he'd like most. He said 'twas to see Tower of London and gaze upon Anne Boleyn's ghost. They thought this request quite unusual, and at first to refuse were inclined, Til Pa said a trip to metrollopse might broaden the little lad's mind. They took charrybank up to London and got there a quarter to fower, and seeing was pubs wasn't open, they went straight away to the tower. They didn't think much to the buildin, twere what they had been led to suppose, and the bad word tower didn't impress 'em. They said Blackpool had got one of those. At last Albert found a Beefeater and filled the old chap with alarm by asking for Ghost of Anne Boleyn, as carried her head neath her arm. Said Beefeater, you ought to come Fridays, if it's Ghost of Anne Boleyn you seek. Her union now limits her output, and she only gets one walk per week. But he said, if it's ghosts that you're after, there's Lady Jane Grey's to be seen. She runs around chased by the Eadsman at midnight on Bold Tower Green. They waited on Green till near midnight, then thinking they'd time for a sup, got out what food they brought with them and waited for Ghost to turn up. On first stroke of 12, up jumped Albert, his mouth full of cold, dripping toast. With his stick, with his horse's handle, he pointed and said, "There's the ghost!" They felt their skins growing all goosey as Lady Jane's spectre drew near, and Albert fair swallowed his tonsils as Eadsman and all did appear. The Eadsman chased Jane round the grass patch. They saw his axe flash in the moon, and seeing his poor lass were headless, they wondered what next he would prune. He suddenly caught sight of Albert, as midnight were on its last chime. As he lifted his axe, father murmured, "We'll get the insurance this time." At that mother rose, taking umbrage. She said, "Put that cleaver away. You're not cutting my Albert's head off. His collar were clean on today." The brave little lad stood undaunted till the ghost were within half a pace. Then, taking the toast he were eating, slapped it, dripping side down, in Ghost's face. 'Twere a proper setback for the Eadsman. He left out one howl of despair, and taking his lady friend with him, disappeared, just like that there. When Pa saw the way he had vanished, he trembled with fear and looked blue, till Ma came and patted his shoulder and said, "It's all right, Dad, we saw him too." Some say the dripping was done it. From a leg of roast mutton it came, and since Eadsman had been a Beefeater, they reckoned he vanished from shame. And around Tower Green from that moment, they've never seen a sign of a ghost. But when Beefeaters go on night duty, they take slices of cold, dripping toast.